Hello guys, welcome to my channel. So today we want to build an healthcare website. So let me show you the quick overview of what we are trying to build today. So we have the website right here. So I will scroll down. So we have the area section. We have a form here. So let me go down. It is not much of a work, but let's do this. So this is it. So the header section, we have two elements there, or let me say two divisions, which is the top header and the navigation. So we have the area section, the about section, the wires, then some banner right here, then our services, then contact us, and we have the footer section. Okay, so without wasting our time, so this is my project folder. I'm going to put the link to this into the description below because I have all the file, all the images that I'm going to be using in this project. So now, without wasting time, I'm going to fire up my Visual Studio Code, my code editor. So for today, I will be using Visual Studio Code. So if you don't have Visual Studio Code, you can navigate to your browser and say code.visualstudio.com. So from here, you see so you just have to download for any OS that you are using. So they have for Mac OS, Windows, then Linux. So you can just click download for your OS, then do the installation and join us. So this is my project folder. So I can from here right click and say open with code or open my code. Then open folder. So this is the folder. So this is the folder, healthcare folder. So I will click select folder. So I have the folder open now. So this is the healthcare folder and this is the asset folder for all my images. Then I'll create another file from here, the index.html. So this is it, guys. So this is what we need to get started. So because as you can see, this is just a one-page website. So without wasting time, let's jump right in. Okay, so if you're on Visual Studio Code, so just have to type HTML, then come to HTML5 and tab, or you press enter. Okay, so we have the basic structure for HTML right here. So I'm going to change this to home, then life care clinic. Okay, so I have this. So if I go back to my design, the header section of this design is showing the top section and the navigation. So from here, I'm going to have the header section. This is an HTML tag. So I'll do the header tag. Then inside that, I'm going to have a div, the class name of top header. So this top header right here, I'm going to create a style sheet. I'm going to call that main.css. So main.css. So I'm going to set a default styles for all the elements. I'm going to say margin 0. Okay. So because we want to be doing this section by section and be doing the styling. So for the top section, if I go back to the design, we have an icon here, the email icon. Then I have the email, then the phone and the phone icon. Sorry, we have the phone icon and the phone number. So let me create a div with a class name of contacts. Then inside the contacts now, I'm going to create another one, a div with a class name of contacts email. Okay, so I will have another one, a div with a class name of contact phone. So inside the contact email, I'm going to have an image tag that points to the mail icon. So if we check the project folder, is there mail icon. Then here I'm going to have a span tag that says care at livecareclinic.com. So care at livecareclinic.com. Okay, so for the phone, I'm going to have an image tag that points to the phone icon, then a span tag that points to the phone number. So since I'm passing, so this is 234 for Nigeria, so 8079, they just pass in one phone number right there, so remain two. Okay, so we have that. Then this is for contacts. Then I'm going to have another div. So this is for contacts. So let's go back to the design. So this is for contacts. So now we want to take care of this appointment button. So I'm going to have, let me just have a button right here. Let me just say a button. It's a button that says appointment. So I'm going to pass in let me say transparent button. So transparent button. So because we are still going to have another transparent button here and somewhere down the page. So transparent button. Okay. So that is for the top section. So if you check the top section, we have the contacts and this button. Then inside the contacts, we have the email and the phone. So if I go back to my code, we have the contacts and this button. Then inside the contacts, we have the email and the phone. So let's quickly start this. So for the top header, so I want to grab the class, but I want to do it this way. So header, then under the header, top header. So let me show you. So I grab this header tag. This is tag. But if you're targeting a class, name, you use full stop. So this is CSS rule. So inside this header tag, then this division right here. So I want to pass in heights of let's go 50 pixels. So so the next thing I'm going to do is to pass in a background. So I'm going to set the background to this image right here. So I've converted this to image. So of course we can do this using CSS, using the linear gradients property, but we're just going to do it using image. So since I've already done the work here, so I'm just gonna use the image like that. So if I check my assets folder, I have the top BG. So what I'm going to do now is to grab the assets. So I'll say / so it will go back to the main to this roots folder. So I'll say / then assets / top BG. So if I save that, and again I'm going to say background size. So before I say background size, so I'm going to start this project inside my live server. So if you don't have this option, you can just come to extension here if you're on Visual Studio Code. So extension, then I'm going to search for live server. So the first one on the list, you click that, then you click install. So once you install that, you're good to go. So I'm gonna say open with live server. Okay, so this is coming up. All right. So this is it. The background, it is not actually working. What is going on? What is going on? What are we doing wrong? Okay. Okay. So we are here to link our CSS to the HTML. So because there's no communication between this CSS file and the HTML, because if you check our HTML code, we don't mention this file at all. So in order to hook in your CSS, you say link. So if you're in Visual Studio Code, just type link, then you click on this link, then semicolon or colon CSS, then you change this right here to main.css. But if you are not in Visual Studio Code, you can say link, then you set the rel, which is the rel if style sheets, then you set the hyperlink reference of your file to the name of this file, say main.css. So we are still going to have the same result. So I'm going to get rid of this, then save that. Okay, so we have this banner right here. You can see that if I go back to the design, so we have this there. So I think my browser, where are you? So this is the mail icon, this is the phone icon, I guess. So the next thing I want to do now, you can see that we have two elements here, the contacts and the button. But if you check this, they are stacked beside each other. So what I'm going to do here is to use something that we call flex box. So I'm going to set the display of the top header to flex. So this will make all the elements stacked beside each other horizontally. So this will come first, while this will come beside it instead of below it. So now you can see that we have the contacts and we have the button right here. Okay. So again, okay. So let's proceed. Let's proceed. So now let's format these images. So I don't want to be seeing a big image like this and the other one is even missing. So for these contacts, I'm going to grab the contacts. I'm going to say header. Then the top header, under the top header, I have the contacts. So if you check your HTML code, you should see that. So I'm going to say display of flex again. So this is going to make the mail icon and the phone icon. That is the mail division and the phone division. They will be beside each other like this. So I'm going to set the height. I want to quickly show you guys something. I'm going to set the height to 50 pixels like that. Then I'm going to say overflow hidden. So this is the contact is going to take from ear to ear, which is 50 pixels. Then overflow hidden means that anything that is inside this division that overlap out of that 50 pixels should be hidden. So if I save this now, you can see that we don't have the phone and all that. We don't have it here again. So that is overflow of hidden. So what I want to do now is to target all the images. So we say top headers, then contacts, then the img. So now what we are doing now is to target all these images. So you can see that both of them are under contacts. So I want to say all the img tag under contacts. So I'm going to say the height of, I'm going to go, let's go 80% for all the images. So now you can see that we have them right here. Is that perfect? Okay, yeah, I think that is perfect. So I'm gonna set for this, this is the flex box. So I'm gonna say align items. I want to set it to the center because I want to align them to the middle like this. So I would say save. What is going on there? What am I doing wrong? What is going on? Let's do this. I don't know what is wrong here. So let me delete this first. Okay. Okay. Oh. Forgot this is actually okay. So let's do it this way. So if the image take 80 pixels, take 80 pixels, then okay. So let's just set this to something 40 pixels and set the align items to center. Okay. So I set the align items to center. So it should be like this. Okay. So I think what is going wrong here is because I use a span tag. So let me just use a block element, just like the image. Let me use a block element. So instead of this div, I'm gonna change it to something paragraph. So if I save that, okay. So I think that is making sense. That is making sense. So this is where the problem is. So let's take the main CSS, let's take it back. Okay. So you can see that the mistake that we are doing here is the contacts has two elements. So anything I do to this, so I put this to display of flex. So that means this element will come to somewhere here, right here beside the email. So beside the email, so what I need to do now is to convert each division under this contact to display of flex. So this is it. So I'll say header, I'll say top, header, I'll say contacts, then I'll say division. So that means I want to target all the division under this contacts. So I'm going to say display flex. So display flex. Okay, now very good. So I'm going to say align items to the center. Okay, so we have it right here. Okay, so let me just go from here and say something color, something like that, color of white, so that everything will be white. So I'm gonna set the color right from there. Okay, so I think this images you can just go 70%. Okay, yeah, I think it's cool like this. So what I want to do is I want to say each division, or let me say this first division should have let's check that. So I think we have some spacing here. We have some spacing here. So we should have like, let's say um the first one should have, let's go 20 pixels. So the first one, which is the first child of that contact, say header, top header, contact, then say first child. Okay. So what we are saying right here basically is we target this, and the contact. Then the first child of this, which is this, should have margin right to be 30 pixels. Let me go 30 pixels first. This is not working. What happened? Oh, my bad. We are actually targeting the div. Then all the divs inside this contact, the first one should have this. So if I do that, you can see that we are having space here. Okay, yeah, I think this is looking cool. So what I want to do now is, now I think we are through with this contacts. So I'm going to close that. So this top header, as I've said, has two elements, the contact and this button. So we want to set this button to come to this side, not here. So what we're going to do is we have already converted this to flex. So that is why this was able to move here. So if you check your, that is why it was able to move here. So what I want to do now is to the top header, after the division of flex, after the display of flex, I'll say justify content. I'll now make it space between. So this is it. So this will go to the last edge, while this one will stay to the start edge. But if I set it to something like evenly, so you should guess what will happen now. So the both of them will come to the middle, while some space in between them, some space after, and some space after. So if I save that, then we have this. So space in between, space after, space after. Okay, okay, okay. Um, so let us take that back to between. Okay. So what we can do here, we can create some spacing here and here. So that is to give this padding padding. So from top to bottom, you can just pass in like 4 pixels. Then left and right, you can pass in like 20 pixel each. So this is it. I'm passing to value to this padding properties, to this padding property. So I said top and bottom, which is the first value here, should have 4 pixels each. So that means 4 pixels at the top, 4 pixels at the bottom. Then 20 pixels here should be for the left and right. So if I save that, so you can see that we have some spacing here, we have here, and we have here. So I think this is small. So let me just give it, where is it? Let me just make it like 25 instead. Okay, so this is cool. But if you look at something, you will see that the height of this is more than the 50 pixels that was set before. It's more than that. So that is because we apply padding. So let me show you that. So I've deleted the padding. If I save that and go back, you can see that it's small now. It's smaller now. If I save again, you can see that it's bigger. So what we are going to do to this, because I don't want the height to be more than 50 pixels. So what I'm going to do now is to say box sizing. I'll say border box. So if I save that, it will go back to the normal states. Okay. So I think I passed in 50 pixels for the contact. I'm going to delete that. Okay, so everything is now balanced. So for this transparent button, so I'm not going to target it under anything. I'm going to say transparent button because I still want to use this class for something else. So transparent button, so the background should be none. Then the border, the border should be 2 pixel. Then solid white. So you're going to have white border. Then the border radius should be, let me go 5 pixels. I think I said that. What happened? There's a mistake in the class name. Let me just copy that. Let me paste it here instead. Yeah. So this is it right here. So I want to say cursor of pointer. So pointer is this hand that you are seeing on my mouse now. This, and that is pointer. So I'm going to say the pointer because before, so I haven't saved the file now. You can see that it isn't showing me that, you know, like waiting for me to click. So I'll say pointer. So if I go back, now I have it like that. So I want to set the color also to white. Then I want to set the padding. I'll set the top and the bottom to be auto. Then I'll set the left and the right to be, let's go 20 pixels each. Let's see how it's going to go down. Okay, not bad, but let's make it 32 pixels. Again, it's showing me the same thing. I think this is where the problem is. Yeah, that is where the problem is. So let's take this back to 20. Okay, so we have this appointment button right here. But what I want to do is whenever I hover on the transparent button, I want it to like show that, okay, my mouse is on it. So what I can do now is to say transparent button, then I'll use column, then over. So I'll target the over effect of this. So I'm going to say, at first, so I'm going to say something like background. So the background, so background. So the background should be this color. I think I have the color somewhere. Let me go to the design. So want to use this color. So which is the background of this also. Let's wait for that. Okay. So we want to be using this color. So that will serve as our primary color. Okay. So I'll paste that. So this is the color now. That is 00ACE8. Okay, so let me go back there. So whenever I hover on this, it's going to change to that color. But this is kind of too fast. I want it to like have some effect while changing, like slowing down while changing. So I'm going to pass transition. If I pass transition of 2 seconds, so I just want to show you how transition works. You can see that. Can you see that? But I'm gonna reduce the timing to 1 second. Okay, yeah, I think this is cool. Okay. So what I want to do again is to increase the padding, let me say padding 0 again. Then um, to make it 24 pixels. So this is gonna shift a bit. Yeah, that is some animation right there. Okay, so let's assume we are done with this. Of course we have. So let's go for the styling of the navigations. Okay, so if I check the fonts that was used for this project, um, I don't remember the name of the font. Okay, okay, I think I use Railway and I used this font also. That is pinned down. So I use Noto Sense. So if I go to Google Fonts, so Google Fonts, so from here I can download any fonts. Okay, so I'll search for the Noto Sense. Okay, so this is actually the font right here. Well, let's check it again. So the one I'm using doesn't have the JP. It is just the ordinary Noto Sense. So which is this, obviously. Okay. So I can use the font from here. I'm going to show us a very cool way of using fonts. So let's go ahead and download this. So I'm going to download the family. Is that necessary? Is that necessary? Okay, I'm going to download the 400. Yeah, I think that is what I actually need. I'm going to download the 400. Then I'm going to download the 700. So I'll download this too. So I'll just hit download all. Okay, so this is will get download to my PC. So I will go back. So remove all first of all. I'll browse fonts again. I'll download Railway. So this is Railway. So I'll download this again. I'll download all the family. I don't actually need to do that. Anyways, let's go again. So I don't want to download all the families because I only need this 400. This 400. So I'll say download all. Okay, so we have the Railway and we have the Noto Sense. So I'll open the folder. So I have these two right here. No, I have these two, the Noto Sense and the Railway. So I'll select the two, right click and say something like extract all. So paste that. So this is the Railway. So let me right click and extract this also. Okay. Okay guys, so this one, I'm gonna navigate to my project folder, which is the healthcare. I'm gonna create a folder now. So now we are not using an online fonts. So we want it to be local on our project folder. So I'll say fonts. Okay, so this will be all the fonts. So I'll go back to the extracted fonts. So the one I am going to copy now is the bold one and the regular one. So I don't actually need the rest. So I'll put that here, or you do copy and paste. So anyone, I'll close that. So for the Railway, I'll copy these two. I don't need the italics one. I'll just copy only this. Okay. Okay. So I'm not gonna close this. No, not yet. So close my download folder. Close Google Fonts. Okay. So we want to use this fonts now, right here. So I'm going to I'm going to create a new CSS file. I'll call it fonts.css. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do next is on Visual Studio Code, you say and at font face, you can see the option right here, but we don't actually want to go for the option. We want to do this all by ourselves. I'll say at font face, then I'll open this open and closing parentheses, and I'll say font family. So this font family now, this will be the name that I will call anytime I want to use this font right here. So I will say for the first one, I'll say Noto bold. That is what I will call this font, Noto bold. Then the source of the fonts will be a URL. So which is under the home directory, which is the healthcare. Then fonts and the Noto board. So we are through with this. So I can use this anywhere in my project folder now. So before we continue doing the rest, let's go and test that right here. So by just the way we included this CSS file, we have to do the same. Say link and say main.css. No, we are going to go font.css now. So if I want to use these fonts here, let's declare the font before the CSS. So if I want to use the font here, let's say something like, do we have anything here? Okay, let's just say something like all the elements should have fonts family of Noto bold. Okay, so if this is not working, you can see that we have this very bold right here. So that means the font is actually working. Wow, nice one, guys. So let's move on. So we don't actually want to use this font for everything. So I'm just showing you guys how it works. So we are through with this. I'm just going to copy this and paste, or let's do it from scratch again. So font face, I'll say font family. I'll say that to I want to have Noto regular. So we have Noto board, we have Noto regular. So anywhere we need to use a board font, we use the Noto board. Anywhere we need to use the regular Noto, we use the Noto regular. So I'll say source again. I'll say URL, then go back to the home under fonts. I'll have Noto regular. So now for the last one, we'll say font face. I'm just gonna speed this up and pick this option right here. So we still have the same thing. Font family will be railway. Then the font's source will be this one. So we have that. So we have all our fonts now. So let me just close that. Okay. So I'm going to get rid of using this. So instead, I'm going to say railway instead. So I want all all the elements to have this font size. So don't worry about that. When we get to where we're supposed to use the bold, we are going to apply the font family to that. Okay, so let's go back. So if I go back to this place, so we have the logo and we have the navigations. Now I think we are through the top header. Let me close that. So just right here, I'll close and toggle that. Now I'll create another div inside the header. We are still inside the header. I'll call it class name of navigation. So inside the navigation now we want to have our logo. I'll call the logo brand. So I'll create a div, call it, give it class name of brand. Then I'll create another div, I'll give it nav. So this will hold our navigations, this will hold our logo. So for this one that will hold our logo, I'll say something like img. So we are going to pass in our logo here. So I'll go to the assets folder, then I'll say logo.png. Okay. So for the navigations, I will have a UL tag. So now I'm going to use UL tag for all this. So to UL tag. So I'm going to say list items. So we have home, about, services, and contact. I'll say home. So let's just type it the normal way first. Home. So li. But you actually want to click this home to navigate to somewhere. So I'm not going to put the home directly inside this place. I'll just have an anchor tag here. So for now, let's put hash. So let's say home. So I'll say a again, put hash. I'll say about. I'll say li. I'll say a. I'll say services and contact us. Services. Then the last one will be href contact us. Okay. Okay. So if I go to the browser and check, so we have this right here. Okay. So for this navigation now, let me quickly go to the style sheet. So let me create a comment here. To create comment here, I'll say / then the asterisk, then I'll say general styling. So I'll close it with asterisk / so that is our general styling. So let's say another one here. I'll say header styling. So asterisk and close that. Okay. So inside this place now, I want to target the navigation, but I don't want to do that directly. The same way we did the contacts, I'll say header, the navigation. So now I want to set the height to 72 pixels. That is my navigation. That I want to go for 72 pixels. Then I'll say overflow of hidden. So anything above that should be hidden. So that means this is telling us that from here to here is our navigation. So the rest of the elements are not showing. So because we've set this to hidden, so this just help us to know what we are actually doing. Okay, so we have that. Let me go again. So we have our nav here. So I'm just going to set this navigation to display of flex. So display flex. I'll say justify content space between. So this will move, this comes to this place, while this will stay right here. So let me go back to this. So we still have the same spacing right here. Okay, yeah, they are inside the same parent, I guess so. So what we are going to do here is for this top header. Okay, so I'm going to copy this. I'm going to just copy this padding, or just go here and say padding, because I also want all these to have spacing right here by the side. I think we use 4 pixels, 25 pixels, 4 pixels, 25 pixels. So okay, so I think we are good. I think we are good. Okay, so I'm going to target header, then navigation, then brand. Brand, this is the image container, our logo container. So I'm going to set the height to 100%, that 100% of the parent, which is 72 pixels also. So I'm going to target header, navigation now, then brand, and the image. So this image is our logo now. So I'll say height of 100%, or let's go 90%. Okay, so we have the image small right here. Okay, so that is making sense. Okay, so now let's go for our nav class. So header, navigation, then the nav. Now we are not dealing with the brand again. So the nav, under the nav, we have the UL tag, which is the unordered list. So this UL tag, I'm going to say list style type, or you say list style, anyone. So I'll set that to none. So this will get rid of the bullet, the asterisk here. So what I'm going to do now is I'll say, okay, so we are done with that. So I'll say header again. So what I'm about to do now, navigation, nav, then ULLI. So I want all of them to be beside each other horizontally. So if I say something like position display of inline block, so they are going to be stacked beside each other. But I don't want to use display of inline blocks. I still want to go for display of flex to their parent. Display of flex. So let me get rid of this. So we still have the same result. So now I can make them to come to the middle, which is align items to the center. So if I save that now, this is going to come down here, right here. So if I save that, that is not working. What happened? Align items to center. Okay, so let's pass in height of 100% here. Still not working. What happened? What happened? Okay, let's pass in background to this UL just to see what we are doing. Okay, yeah, it's worked. What happened before? So save that. Okay, so we have all this now. So what we want to create now is some spacing in between each elements. So I'm gonna say each li should have margin. So I can say margin, so top and bottom should be 0, then left and right should be something 18 pixels. Okay, yeah, this is making sense. So if I go to the design, yeah, we have that. So we have that right there, but there's one problem here. This is not supposed to have this margin here. So what we can do is to only set margin left and just say 18 pixels. So we are still going to have this, but the space is not enough. So we can just leave it the same way it is, but we have to target this last element, the last child, and just say margin right of 0 right here. So we've done the same thing here. We target first child, first div inside the contacts. So I'm just going to pass in the same thing. I'll say header, navigation, nav, UL, then li, then I'll say last child. So this last child should have margin right of 0. Okay, so this is back to normal. Okay, okay. So now we want to target this this anchor tag. We want to target this now. So I don't want to be doing that every time. I'll just copy this, paste, and just include the A here. So these are the lengths for each list items. So first of all, I'm going to set the color of, so this our color 00 ACE 8. So we have the color right here. So I think the color is kind of bold. It's kind of bold color. So let me unlock that. I have unlocked that before. So okay, it's the same color. So what is going on? Okay, the font size, the font's face or font size, I don't know what you choose to call it, or font family rather. It is actually the Noto board. So I'll just say font family Noto board. Okay. Okay, so we have it right there. Or probably we should go for Noto regular. I don't know. Noto regular. Okay, let's just go for this and probably pass in font weight of bold. Let's see how. Okay, yeah. Let's go for this. So what I want to do now is to remove the underline. Okay. So underline, which is text decoration none, text decoration none. Okay. So if whenever I hover on this, I want to actually like show some reaction, like okay, you are on me. So what I want to do is I'll target this now. So I'm going to pass in over effect over. Then I'll say so whenever I hover on it, it should have text decoration of underline. So it should just have underline. So now can you see that? Can you see that? So the next thing we want to do is to make everything capital letter. So I'll say text transform uppercase. So everything is now in capital letter. So yeah, I think we are done with this section. So thank you very much, guys. Let's move down to the area section. Okay, guys, the area section. So for the area section, we have a division, like the container for the area section, about 600 pixel or so. Um, okay, about 600 pixels. So inside that, we have this right here. So the division has background of an image, this image, then some gradients again as overlay. Then we have this text right here, we have this, and we have this text, and we have this button. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. So I'll close this. Okay, so I think we are through with the header. So let's have a division, or let's grab everything else. That is header. Let's say we have main for the main page. Now inside the main, let's say we have um a division called hero. Now this division, now we are going to have this, should we call that a p tag that says life care clinic. Now we have an h3, that says healthcare that truly cares. So let's rephrase that. Healthcare that truly cares. Okay. Now under that we have another p tag that says not just. It's been long I draw this, so but a better healthcare experience. The healthcare experience. Okay. So this will be our hero, but I don't want to just put all this here. I want to say something like a division with class. You can do this. So it will automatically give you a division with class of hero inner. Can you see that? So I do this a lot. Okay. Now let's go and start the hero. So go back. So I'm gonna create a comment here. I'll say hero section. So I'll target the hero class. I'll give it height of 600 pixels. I'm not really sure about this. Okay, let's just continue. I have to cut this off. Give it height of 600 pixels. Then what I'm going to do now is to set the background to URL. Then I'm going to go to assets. Then I'll say hero BG. I didn't use that. Let's go BG. Yeah, banner BG. That is what I use. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the code. So we actually have this. Okay, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Because this is actually repeating the background. It's actually repeating the background. So we have to pass in background repeats, because if you see this picture actually ends here, then another one starts immediately. So I'll say no repeat. So if we go back, you can see that we're having some white spacing here. So what I'm going to do now is to pass in background size. I'll say cover. Okay, so this is very good now. Okay, so I think instead of going 500, instead of going 600 pixels, let's do this. You know, like the 100 view h, that is the height of this screen, of this view. So let's calculate that and minus, we set this to 50, then we also set this to what, 72. Yeah, so that is 110. So what I'm going to do, let's go the navigation. This is the navigation right here. We're passing padding, but we didn't use border box. We don't need to pass that border box. Sorry, box sizing, border box. We don't need to pass this 72%. You can see that like we now have like this is a bit closer. This is a bit closer. This is a bit closer. So let's make it 80. Okay, so this is cool now. So now we want to say 80 plus 40, which is 120, minus the height of whatever view that you are using. Probably you're using mobile or you're using anything. So that is what we want to set the height of that banner, so that both the banner and this height will be on the page when you first open the website like this. So let me go to my style sheet. Let me go down to the hero. I'll say height. So let's get rid of this 600. So I'm gonna tell the browser to calculate the 100 view height. That is the height of the screen, whatever screen I'm using, minus. So now we're going to do this 80 pixels plus the first 50 pixels. That should be 120. So minus 120 pixels. So if I save that, now you can see that we just have the area section and the header section full the page. So if I come to the menu, say developer, then developer tools, so you can see that we still have it 100%. So right now I'm clicking on this, so which is to check the responsiveness. So if I open this on iPhone X, I'm gonna have this like this. So if I open it on probably an iPad, I'm going to still have it like just 100% of the screen. Okay. So now, what we want to do now is to actually set this overlay like this. To do that, okay, let's use the linear gradient. So I'm going to have inside this place, inside the arrow, I'm going to have another division. I'm just going to call that class of arrow overlay. Okay, so the arrow overlay, I'm going to set the height to 100%. That means it's going to take 100% of its parent, which is whatever this is. So you can see that we don't actually know the height, but this is going to take 100% of whatever. So now I'm going to set the position. Now we want to use the position property to absolute. So this absolute, I will be able to move it anyhow. So I'm going to set the width to 100% also. So I'm going to set background. So let's go background of black first. Okay, so if I go back, you can see that we still have, just that we don't have the same result. This is actually taking the height of the screen, not the height of the parents. So what I'm going to do is to pass in position of relative. So now I am telling this that, hey, the roots, that is the body, it is no more like the body of the page. It is no more your parent. This is now your parent. So you should be fetching height content from this division right here. So now you can see that we have it stick to that. Okay. So what we want to do now is to actually take this back, to send it back. You can see that it is above this, but what I'm thinking is that is because all this they are in, their color is black, so that's why we can't actually see them. So let's just do something like start here, background color of white to all this. Still not seeing it. Okay, that is not a problem. So what I can do now is to set the Z index to, let's go 0. Still not working. Let's go -1. Oh, let's go just 1. Okay, so let's go just 1. So I'll tell you the meaning of this shortly. So if I say the arrow, then the arrow inner, so this is the arrow inner, that is those contents. If I say Z index, if I set them to 4, they should come over this. So let me just put one random number. We still have the same result, still background. What is this happening to me? So save that. Still have the same results. Okay, so let us proceed first. So what I want to do now is to actually set the background of linear. Like I want to use the gradient background here. So I want to use a gradient background here. Okay, so I'll say linear gradient. So from here now, this is taking this is going to take, you can pass in only the color that you want to use. So if I say red, black, green, yellow. So if I save that and refresh, oh mistake. So we're supposed to put commas. Okay. So now we have all this color as the background. All this. But now we only want to use the black, transparent black, and white. So and white for now. Let's go like that. So we have this right here. So for the white, I want to go opacity down. Like I want to set the opacity of this white. I don't want it. I want to set the transparency. So if you drag this down, it's going to be very very light. You can see that we now have the white like this. Okay. Oh, I am actually targeting the black. Oh my god. So I want to target white, please. Okay. So I save that. So now we have this. You can see that the top part is very very black, while this is white and transparent. So if I set this top part, so I'm going to use the X value of deep black. So this is deep black. Then I also like make it transparent a bit. Okay, so we have this. So now what I can do now is to set the direction. If I say to right, so this is telling this that the the gradient should come from left to right, because by default it's top to bottom. So now I'm having this. Why is this showing? Why is that showing? Why is that showing? Let me get rid of this first. I don't know. Okay, I think I actually pass in background of white. This doesn't need background. Let me get rid of that for now. Okay, very good. So now we are having this right here. So what I want to do to this is to actually set an actual percentage for this black. So black should be, I think this is 50% also. should be 50%, while white also will be 50%. So now this black, I'll pass in 50% to that. Okay, so now we are having black to be 50%. Then also this white should be 50%. So this is just algorithm. Can you see that? So this is 50% and this is 50%. But what we can do is to remove the percentage from the white, because since we are going to have it, you know, like transparent. So we are just gonna go with this. I don't know. So let us go with this. Okay, so we want to make all this. I think my white, I need to increase the transparency. Okay, yeah. So let us go with that. Now, so we now have all these I don't know how I should call them, live care, all these contents. So I think, am I making mistake in the class name? The class name, there's no mistake there. Okay, I think what we can do is to actually move this up. So this should work. So move it up. Oh my god. Okay, yeah. I think it's working. I think it's working. So this overlay right here, we can just like set, the position is absolute. We set the top to 0. So yeah, am I correct? Am I correct? Am I actually correct? Okay, let's go. Okay, there's no need to do that. Okay, so now the arrow inner will take, let's check the design. So the arrow inner will take, like kind of 50, 40 40% weight of the parents. So say weight of 40%. Okay, so 40%, weight of 40%. Let me set background first to see what we're actually doing. Okay, yeah. So you say 40%, or let's go 35. Oh, 35%. Now I can now set the height to be 100% also. Then I can set what again? Now I can set, so if the height is 100%, it's going to look like this. Then I can set it to display flex, or probably let's say display of grid. Then I'm going to set all the content, which is align item to center. So let me remove the background so we'll see what we're doing. Okay, so they are at the center. So but this is grid. It's going to like space them like this. So what we can do, or let's say justify content to center also. um what is that? Let's just take this back to flex, our original flex. Okay, so we have it like this. So what I can do is to say flex direction to column. So the reason I have to do this is you can see they are like in row forms. So I'll just say columns, save that. Now we have them like this. So I'm going to get rid of this align center, delete that. Okay, so we have this. Now I'm going to set the color to white. Okay, yeah, I saw that coming. You can see the overlay, it is actually covering this. It's actually covering that. What can we do? 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 Okay, we can actually just copy this. I don't know. Just copy this. Okay. So we also set this to position of absolute. So they are going to be living inside the same parent now. So I don't think that's a big deal. Then we set, we want this to like escape this area a bit. So let me go back to this. We actually have, you know, no, I can just set margin left for the inner now, or probably padding left. Let's go 30 pixels. Let's see the result. It is way too small. Okay, let us like take it up and give it 100. Okay, so we have it like this. So what I want to do now is to target the first paragraph inside the arrow inner. Then I'll give it this color, which is our main color, the first paragraph. So I think our black is kind of too deep. So this is too much. Make it transparent again. Yeah, yes. Yeah, this is, this is actually saying it. Okay, so this is going to have the color, then this is going to be big, and this is going to like have this font size and just stay like this. So we're going to target the first P inside the arrow inner. Say arrow, then I'll say arrow inner, then P, but the first one to the first P. I'll set the color to this our color, this color that we are using. So if I go back to the browser, we have this. So I think the color is actually not so regular. I mean the font family is not so regular. Okay, so now we have this. Yeah, I think we're gonna do that like right there. So the healthcare that truly cares, which is under arrow inner, then H3. So we want to save font size of something 2.3 m. Is this too big? Yeah, not really. So this is not really big. So 2.3 m. This is a measurement in CSS. I'm not going to explain that, but if you want me to do a tutorial video on this, you can kindly put the comment down below. So I will attend to that. Then do a tutorial video on this I mean probably all measurements in CSS. Okay, so we have this. So I'm gonna say font family to Noto bold. Gonna be tick. Yes. So now what we're actually gonna do here is, so we have this and this. We have to space this and this. So for the H3, I'll say margin. So left and top and bottom, let's go 10 pixels, and left and right should be 0. Okay, so I think this is actually doing what we need. And let's say line height, let's go to pixels. Oh, this is 20. I just want this else and the trolley to be close to each other. So I'll go 25 now. This is bad. This is making it worse. Okay, yeah. So let's just go like this, and let's increase this to 2.5 somehow. Okay, or probably 3 m. Oh my god. Huh. And let's set this to 45, or probably 50 will be better. Okay, now we have this now. Okay, so for this we want to actually make a break tag right here, or probably that is not, we actually set this to 40. So if we, like this inner, we set it to 35 rather. Let's just make it 30. So let's see. Yes, I think this is this is kind of good. This is kind of good. So let us go with this. Let's go with this. Okay. So now I think after that we have a button, a transparent button. So what I'll just do is to put my button right here. inside the inner. So let me have a div right there, and let me have an a tag. This is not going anywhere yet. Let's say what do we have there? Contact us. Contact us. And let me just pass in class of transparent button. Double T. Okay, so go back. Now we have this. So I think the problem we're having here is that we didn't set this to the padding at the top. We didn't have any padding here because this is button. This already has some padding at the top because it's button. So that's what we are going to do to this now. We are going to add some extra styling. So the arrow inner, then I'm going to target this div so that I can create some spacing. Arrow, then arrow inner, then the div. So this is the only div. I'll say margin from top to bottom, so 10 pixels, left and right 0. Okay, so we have some spacing here. I mean between the button and the not just beta 8K. So we have some spacing there. Or let's go 30 so we can see that we have the spacing now. Okay, so that the anchor tag under this div. So the anchor tag wants to say arrow inner div and the anchor tag text decoration first, none. Then want to padding at the top, want to say 10 pixels. Then padding bottom, want to say 10 pixels. Okay, yeah, this is looking nice. So guys, we are through with the header section. So yeah, I think this is kind of good. All right, guys, let's move down to the about section, do the about, and do this form right here together. Thank you very much. Okay, guys, so we have to move down to this section now. So this is about section. So we have the about container that has should we call this light gray background, and we have this contents and this form right here. So let's go to our code editor and let's fire up. I'll close this. Okay, so I'm gonna say section. So for each section I'm going to be having inside this my project, so I'll just go to general styling. For every section I'm going to be having here as a section, so I want to set margin top. Is the margin top? So I want to set margin top for every section to be 80 pixels. Okay, so the reason why I'm doing that, I'm going to show you guys shortly. So inside this section I want to have a div called about section. Okay, so a div called about section. So inside this div I want to have two components. So the first one is going to be the about contents. So let's call it about content. So we have an h3 that says something. So we have this. So let's say h6. So let's say the first one is h6 that says welcome to. Oh my god, what have I done? Take it back. No. So welcome to welcome to, then we have another one. So let's take this a step further. Let's make it h5. So I don't know, I'm just trying to like look through all the tags so we can use as much as we can. So let's call this life care clinic. Okay, so let's call this paragraph tag. So p tag. So you just have to type lorem, then it's going to generate this random text for you. So this is what we are having here also. So can you see lorem ipsum like that? So this is the about contents. Now let's have an appointment form. So let's say appointment form. Don't forget we are using underscore. So I just want to keep it flow like that. So inside the appointment form, I want to have the form. So I want to have a form. So then inside the form, so if you look at this now, I have inside the form or before the form, I have book appointments. So let me have a division. Let me have a division that says appointment header. So this is appointment header. This only says book appointment. So this book appointment. Okay. So the form now, if you look at the form, we have text and the inputs and the input box here where you can input something. Then we have like a label within it. So I'm gonna say this is a group like this. I'm gonna say this is a group, this is another group, while this is another group, and this is another group. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna have I want to have a div, then I'll call that class or form group. Then I'll have label. So this label will be for the full name. So for full name, I'll just type full name here. Then after that, I'll say input. I'll say ID of full name. So this we said for full name. So this is going to look for the ID that has. It's going to look for a tag that has full name as the ID. So that is why we are passing this. So I'll copy this. So for this, I'm going to say class or form control. So this is form group and this is form control. Class of form control. Class of form control. Class of form control. Okay. So we have telephone, email, and dates. So we want to change this down to telephone. So what I did there, I highlight this, then I press Ctrl D. So it's going to look for the next one, the next full name, then Ctrl D again is going to look for the next one. So I want to edit this tree first. I'll say email. So I can edit everything together. Then let me change this text to email also. So because this is not going to be text again, it's going to be email. So let me change this type to that is telephone. So for the full name, for this one, I want to make it date. So I'll say date. Is that date? Yeah. So pick a date for the appointment. Pick a date rather. I think it's cool like that. So I'll change this to date. Then the type will be date. So this is going to so if I go to the browser now, scroll down. So we have it right here. So if I click this, it's going to come up for me to select something. This is date date picker. So can you see the value right here? So that is date picker. So types of service. So we have another tag here. Let me copy this phone group also. So let's say which service do you need? Are you booking appointment for? So types of service. So now inside this, instead of using the input tag, we're going to use the select tag. So forget about the name for now. Let's save types. So don't forget. So the types of service, then inside the selector, you know that we actually want to select something, so we need options. So we'll call this option. So we want to select from all these options. So the first one is, we'll say select. So please select a service. So that's the first one. So the second one is option. So the second option that will be there, we want to have something like, so let's scroll down to services. So we want to have mental health care for the next one, mental health care. So I'm going to pass the same thing here. So what we're actually saying here is that this one will be the first one, which is empty. The value is empty, but this is what the user will see. Please select. So this is telling the user to do something. So when we are validating our form, we are going to check if this types, if it's empty, that is, if the value is this. So we are going to return false to the user that you can't submit this form, you have to fill this, something like that. So this is the next one. Then again, I'm going to have laboratory services. Laboratory services, lab services. So copy and paste. I'll have emergency. Emergency. Okay. Now, so you can see that when I click this, I'm having this. Okay. So now let's style this. So inside my about section, let's see the design here. So when we have like 80% from ear to ear, so then inside the about section, we have, the width. It is not. Let me do this. Let me try and get this. This is the booking. I want to quickly get the size. So I don't know if we can use this size that we have right here. So this is about, we have 1280. We can't go for this. So this is this is what we are going to do. We are going to set. So I'm going to pass in another class name to this. I'm going to call it container. So whatever I put container, whatever I had container as the class name. So let me just go to general styling. So the container is going to have width of, let's say, 1020 pixels. Then it's going to have margin 0 also. So if I go back, you can see that this is not 100% of the page, so it is just 1020 weight. Then the margin 0 auto means that it's going to like position into the middle of the page. So that is what we have here. So that is what we are having here. Okay, yeah, I think we are done with that. So what we need to set now is to set background to our section. Like this background, and it might not be on other section. So under this general styling, I'm going to set another class. I'll call it bg light. So background of light. So I'll say this background of light, you have this property that is background. Then I'll set the value for the background. I'll say f8, f9, fa. So now I'll set this. So if I add bg of light to this section right here, so bg light, if I save that, so obviously, yeah, if you check the code, we are having a light gray background. So if that is not showing very well, I don't want us to go beyond this. So you can just, let's pass f4, f4, f4. Let's see how this is gonna go. I just want something that will be clear. No, it's not working. Okay, let's go BBB. This should be too deep. Oh my god. Okay, let's go F545454. Oh my god, this is bad. B9. What do you say? What do you say? Let's leave it F8, F9, FA. So let's leave it like this. Okay. Okay. So now for the about section, what I want to do for this about section, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, we haven't. So this is about section now. So I'm gonna pass about section. I want to pass padding. So from top and right, the padding should be, let's go 40, top and bottom 40, then left and right should be 0. So that is, we want to create some spacing. Yeah, want to create some spacing. Or let's do it this way. Let's just, because this is showing very well. Okay, this is what we can do. I don't know. Probably is my screen. I don't know why that is not showing very well. I mean this background. So this is what we can do. We can come here and increase that. Okay. Yes. So let us go with this, please. Okay. So I think this is, yeah, that is the settings. Okay. So now for this about content, this is it. We don't want the width to pass this area, because if I check my design, it's just small as this. So we don't want the width to pass this area. I think that is about 40% or so, 40% of the parent. So if I say about section, about content, so I set the width to 50. When I set the width to 40%, that's okay. So we have it right here. Yeah, I think this is perfect. It's moving very well. So this about section, about content, this should be content rather. So about content, the H6 under the about content, that is this one. So the color, yeah, I think the color, it is not black. So color, let's pass in 545454. That is what we are going to use for the color. If I save that, go to my browser. So we have this. So we have that as the color. So what else do we have? So the font is railway. So I think it's there by default. Yeah, of course. So we can just say font size to be large. And, yeah, I think this outcome is good. So now for the H5, I'll just copy this, paste. For the H5, we want to set the color to be our main color, which is this. Then the font size also to be large. Now we have this. So we want to target this, like I think this is around 24 pixels or so. So this one is 24 pixels. Yeah, let's leave it this way. So just that we need to create some margin. So I'll say margin. So top, I'll go 10 pixels. Then left, I'll go 0. Bottom, so you can now see that I'm extending this. I'm extending this to 4 values. So bottom, I'll pass 30 pixels. Then right, I'll pass 0 pixels. Okay, so we have it like this. So now let me check this. Yeah, I think we have color black here. Or for the welcome to, let us leave it color black, so that we can also use color black for this, which is the paragraph. So I'll copy all this. So I'll change this to paragraph, which is the paragraph under the about content. Yeah, I think we don't actually need to like apply anything here. It's okay like this. Yeah, it's okay like this. So what we just need to do now is yeah, to pass height of 100% to this. So this is going to take 100% of the parents. It's going to take 100% of the parent, but the parent doesn't have an actual height, but we don't want to care about that. So let's leave it like this for now. Now let's go for the form, the appointment form. So this appointment form, the appointment form, is under about section. So let's just do it that way. That is the convention that we have been following. So now we set the width to 300 pixels for this form, 300 pixels. Okay, so we have it right here. Then I'll set background to white. So I set background to white. Now I have the background right here. Okay. So what I want to do for this about section is to actually set an actual height for it. This about section. So I'm just going to go minimum height. That's mean height. So let's go 300 pixels. Let's see how it's going to go. Okay. Okay. Or let's say something like height 300 pixels. So this is actually 300 pixels. Like from here to here, let me say something like overflow hidden. So we see the 300 pixels. So 300 pixels is from here to here. Now we've set this one to go like 100% height, the about content, if you can remember, 100% height. So now let's say something like display flex, but the flex that inside the about content we have the h6, the h5, and the p, which is like the content. The p is all those lorem content. So I'm going to say flex direction column. I'm going to say align. No, we're going to go justify content now center. Okay, so we have it at the middle now. So this book appointment, so I'm going to remove this from hidden because we've actually gotten what we're looking for. So this book appointment, I want to move it to come to this side. But if you check the design, we actually have it like outside the parents. So it's kind of inherit from this place. So I'm going to set that to position of absolute. So if I set position to absolute, if I set top to 0, that means it should be by the parent, but now is coming to top of 0 here. So we have to set this parent, this about section, we have to set it to relative. We have to set the position to relative, just like the way we did position, so that this will not be referencing to the root elements, it will be referencing to this. So I actually have a tutorial on CSS position. So if you want to watch the tutorial, you can just like go to the description below. You see the link there, so you have to click the link so you can watch the tutorial, so you understand the CSS position more. Okay, so now I have set this to like it is not about content, it's actually about section. So relative. Okay, so you can see that it is now here, like top 0, so the top is now here. What if I set the top to something minus 20? It is not working. Okay, so let's say top 0. Now let's say margin top should be minus something like 40 pixels. So it is going to go beyond that up. So what I can do now is to also send this to this place. That is by using right. We said top should be 0, then right also 0. So to come to this side. Now we have it by this side. Okay, so we haven't styled this form at all. Instead of going 320, I'll go 340. Okay, yeah, I think the weight is cool right there. Okay, so we actually have it there. So let's set some padding. So let's say padding from top to bottom to be 20 pixels, from left and right to be 30 pixels. Is this making sense? Yeah, I think it is. So yeah, I think it is. So now, but what we want to set is the box sizing so that it will maintain these 340 pixels. The box sizing. Let's say border box. Before I save this, let me quickly show you something. So I click on this. I'll say inspect elements. So let me take it back to normal. I don't want to use responsive. So now if I use Ctrl Shift C, so this will show me the property of this thing, of this appointment form. Can you see that we now have width of 400 pixels? If we take that 400 pixels as the width, so that is because we didn't pass box sizing border. So this padding will increase the weight, and we don't want that to happen. So I'm just going to save this as box sizing border box. So if I come back and text the same thing, we now have it as 340. So box sizing is very important. So I've saved that again. Okay, so we have the form here. So if I go to the design, we actually have some kind of shadow to the form. So let's quickly pass the shadow before we move down to styling the form. So we say box shadow. Now this shadow is going to like take in some parameters, some values. So the first one is actually like the the size of the shadow in the x-axis, on the x-axis, so which is 0, on the y-axis which is 0, then the distance of the shadow I'll pass in 3 pixels, then the color of the shadow I'll pass in gray. So if I save that, you can see that I have traces of shadow. Now let's understand this x and y axis. So for this x axis, right, if I say something like 30 pixels, save that, you can see that we have it like this. You can see that it's now shifted to the right. So if I say minus this, you can see that. So I'm just going to take it back to 0. That is normal. So if you do the same with this other 0 is going to like show you the same result, which is like y-axis top and bottom. So I'm not gonna go there just to make this faster. Okay, so let me just pass in border radius to this 10 pixels. Okay, yeah, this is looking cool. Now let's target the appointment form header, about section, appointment form, then appointments from appointment header. There is appointment header, appointment, no, yeah, appointment header. So now let's set padding for this. Should be top and bottom should be 20 pixels. We don't actually need the left and right, just say 0. Let's set the width to 100%. Now let's set background to the main color. Now let's set text color to the color to white. So what we actually did here is the color of this should be white, then the background should be, I don't know what we, background, that is the main color. So if I save that, we'll actually have this. So this is happening because we have applied some padding to this container, and we don't want to do that. So let me just get rid of the padding on the appointment form. So just remove the padding. So this is looking cool now. Okay. So for this appointment header, I'll copy this border radius. I'll paste it here. Okay. But we don't want this to curve. Let me check the design. We don't actually want this to curve. Can you see that? We don't want this place and this place to curve. So that is, we are going to say border radius top, border radius left. What am I doing wrong? Okay, border left. So left bottom, or I think bottom left. I don't know. Yeah, that is the bottom left. Radius should be 0. Then bottom right radius should be 0. So if I go back, now we have this. Now what we can also apply now is border, just border. We are going to use 1 pixels, then rigid ridge, and pass in gray. So if I check the design again, it is actually there, but we don't want it to round it like this, so we just want to use border bottom alone. So let's pass in border bottom. Okay, so we have this thing there. Now what I want to do is to make this text to the center, text align center, and to also change the font family. So let's go to the design now. So this is the bold fonts. Say Noto bold. Okay, yeah, so we have this. So but we want to actually increase because this is actually showing here. If you check the design, like taking part of the banner. So let's also increase the font size first. Font size, so something like 20 pixels. Okay, so maybe the weight, we have to work on the weight a bit, which is 340. Let's go 400. Yes, yes. So now we said the margin top should be 40 pixels. So if you can remember, we said all the sections should have margin top of 80 pixels. So we have to first get out of the 80. Then so that means it is going to be here, somewhere here. Then we have to add the one that will enter this banner. So which is, we can say, plus 40 again, which is 120. So this is going to enter the banner, but it is still small. We can say minus 250 pixels. Wow, this is too much. Minus 220. Am I making sense? Minus 200. Okay, okay, yeah. I think we're doing good. All right, so we have this now. Let's style the form now. So for the form, under the appointment form, we actually have a form inside that. So let's target the form now. So I put the form here, so I'm targeting the form now. So I'll say the padding. So I'll say from top to bottom should be 20 pixels. Then left and right should be 30 pixels. I don't know. Yes, I think this is actually making sense. This is making some sense. Okay. So now under the form, I have about section, appointment form, then the form. It is a tag, not class form. Then under the form, we have form group. Form group. So this form group, the form group, we want to set that to flex, display flex. Then justify contents. So if this is display flex, we want to say flex direction to the column. So if this is flex, that means this and this will be beside each other like this. So we have set this to column. That means this is going to be at the top, this will be at the bottom. So very simple. Yes. So we have that. So now before I move down to that, I want to first target all the labels. So all the labels should have color, no color of that our main color, which is 00ACE8. So now this is it. Then we want to set some font weight to be bold. Okay. Then we want to set margin bottom to be just 10 pixels, just to create some spacing between this. No, we're actually targeting the form right now. We say form and the label, but we want to target the label now. Okay, yeah, so this is it. Okay, so now this form group will have margin of top and bottom should be 10 pixels also, and left and right should be 0. Or let's make this this margin top and bottom to be 50 pixels. So I'm saying that this group should have 50 pixels at the top, 50 pixels at the bottom. This group too, including this input box, should have 15 top, 15 bottom. So if I save this, I'll come back. Now we have that. So what we can do now is to increase all the input tags to increase their height. So I'll just copy the one for label, paste it, change the label to input. Now I'm targeting the about section, the appointment form, the form, and the input. So now I don't need this margin. If I say height to, let's say, 40 pixels, oh my god, what is this? 35 pixels. Okay, let's go 35 and let's check the form. So this is actually having the same background with this. So this is it. So for the label, I am going to, for this label, margin bottom, let's make it 5 pixels instead. So the color to this, the background color to the inputs will be the DF. So this is going to have this background color. So what we can do now is to get rid of this border for the inputs tag. Say border none. So it won't have border again. If I go to this place, now you can see that. So the only thing we want to do now is to actually like spacing this. You can see if I'm typing, it's too close to this place. I can just say padding left, padding left. Oh, I have to terminate this. Okay. Padding left, say something like 10 pixels. This should be 10. Okay, so we have this. We type this something here. We type something here. You can see that we're having some spacing there. So I can select this too. Now, if you see this, we only apply that. We only apply that. We only apply this to all the inputs, this height. So we have to do the same to this this select tag. So instead of passing inputs, I'm just going to pass form control. If you can remember, we added a class of form control to all the inputs and the select box. You can see that we are now having the same. Oh, we didn't add form control to select. Imagine. So let's just say class of form control. So we should have the same style. Now, can you see that? So now, now. So I think we can actually target this is we didn't put form control to the date. Control. Okay, yes. So I think this is going well. So for the design, I have this button that says submit. So I'm going to have another form group that says that have button. So the button says something like submit. So I have the button right here. So submit. So let me just target this button. I'll copy all the style for form control. I'll paste it here. Instead of form control, I'll just say sub button. So let's go the same height, but the background will actually be our main color, but let's make it dark a bit. I'll drag this down. Yeah, because I don't actually know. So you can just copy this color code 006 CE8. No, that is it. So I'll set color of white. Yeah, this is making sense. So after the color of white, I'll pass in width of probably 50% of this. So it is no more 100% weight, so it is now 50%. So I cannot pass in border radius to be 10 pixels. So we'll have some curve edge right here, or let's make it 6 pixel. So we have it here. So we want to move this to the center. So we want to move that to the center. Let's try text align. It is not going to work. So let's, okay. So from here, let's try passing attribute align and say center. Doesn't work. Okay, let's do this. Let's use the center tag. So there's a tag in HTML called center tag. Okay, so we have the results right here. So if you look at this, we are doing well. Okay, so for this, there's a way we can do all this, but probably we're gonna do that later. So let's assume that we are cool with this. So let's quickly move to why us section. Okay, guys, why us? So this is why us section. We have a section BG lights. If you can remember, we have a class name BG lights. Then container. So we have the title for this section, and we have these four elements. Okay, so I will open up. So I think I'm sure with this section. This is about section. So let me just make a comment here. Say about section. Let me make a comment here. So I'm using control forward slash, is control and forward slash. So control, I'm gonna say the hero section here. So for this, under this, I'll have why us section. Okay, so I'll have a section tag. Then this section tag I'll have class of BG lights. So if you can remember, we set um each section tag should be having margin top of 80 pixels. So I don't need to apply some kind of margin to this because it's already there like that. Okay, okay, you can see that we have some space in here, or probably the 80. Let's just make it 100 or 120. Okay, yeah, I think this is what I'm looking for. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. But 120, let's just make it 100 because of this form right here. Yeah, this is so cool. Okay, so for that we have container. So inside this place, inside this about, inside this YL section, I have a division class name of container. Then I'll say YOS section. Okay, so this YL section, we're going to have an H3 tag that says why us. Why should you choose us? Then I'm going to have another div that have class of why us contents. So this will hold all these four I don't know, for these four informations. So this why us, we are going to call one, we are going to call each, we are going to call it, let's say, elements. I don't know, let's just say elements for, so for each one of these. So each one of these is having picture, I mean icon, then the title and some introductory message. So we are going to say img, set the img of this. I think the first one is emergency, asset, then emergency. So I have to, so emergency icon. So after that, we are going to have the title. Let's put this inside that div and say h3, that is for the title. Let's pass in emergency help. Now for the content, to be inside this place, let's say lorem, but we don't want it to be much, we just want it to be like 20. Say lorem 20. Did I actually get this? This is more than 20. I think lorem you pass in 20. No, I don't know. Lorem, so I do this. Oh my god, what am I doing with my life? Like I just wanted to generate just 20 words for me. November 20. Yeah, this is 20. Yeah, if I save that and go to the browser, this is still much. Is it 21, 2, 3? I'm not ready for this. Okay, let's assume this is 20, but we are not using 20. Let's just use lorem 10. Yeah, I think it's working. It is not. What is that? Okay, let's just cut it short. Let's cut it short from here. So for stop. So I have it. It's too much again. Let's cut it from here. So from here, cut it. Okay. Now we have that for the emergency. So I'll copy that. So that is each element. Okay. So the second one, we have qualified doctors. We have doctors icon. So I think I use doctors icon. Qualified doctors. So I'll leave the lorem like that. I'll copy the element again. Elements again. What is the next one? Certified services. Certified services. So say I don't know what to call it, what I call the certified. So if you check inside your assets folder, all these images they are there. So great infrastructure. So infra. Well, I didn't have that. What happened? Okay, that is hospital icon. So hospital icon. So great infrastructure. Great infrastructure. Okay. So if I check the code, you can see that we have everything right here. Okay. Okay. Now what I want to do now is the YL section. I'll go to the CSS. I'll create a comment, control / YL section. This is for the styling. So I'll target the class YL section. I'll say padding. So I want to have like I think for the about we apply 30 pixels to top and the bottom. For the about section that is 40 pixels. We're going to use the same thing, 40 pixels, then left and right to the 0. Okay, so we have that. Let's check the design again. So we have this title by the middle, the H3. So which is which is H3. So I can target the first H3 like this, say H3 for the first one. So to just the text align center and to the color of the main color. So I save that. You can see that we have, oh my god, we have all the H3 like that. That is not working. Okay, so I can just say, this descendant of a thing is very, very powerful. I can just say the H3 immediately inside this. So it's just going to target only this H3. So can you see that? So that is magic of CSS. It's going to target the very first one. So I'll say font family. I'll say Noto bold. I think that is bold. Yeah, yeah, we have that bold. Now let's go YL section, then YL's contents to have margin of top and bottom 20 pixels, then 0. So this is what we're actually trying to implement. There should be no we don't have to add margin here because the container already has some margin. So we can just say bottom to be 0 also. So this is going to work for the top alone. This is going to work for left and right. This is going to work for bottom. If I pass another one here, it's not going to work for right. But if this is not there, the middle one is going to serve as the left and the right. Okay. So do we have that y else content? Let's go back. Yeah, it is y else content. So is it not working? So let's pass in background to actually see if it's working. Background of the main color. Yeah, it is working. Okay. Let's just help this. Just complete that. So only the top of that will be, let's go 30 pixels. I think that is not. Let's go 300 first. Yeah, it is working. So I use 300 to just check. So I'm gonna make it 40 now. So 40. Or let's probably go 50 because I want to add some, you know. Okay, so we have that now. So now I want to target each element under this y else content elements. So elements, that is each element. So all these ones. So I'll say display, that is inline block. So they can come here. So once there's no more space, it's going to come down right here. So now we say that if I set the width, if we are actually, you know, like if you're actually sharing this in between, let's say this is 100% and want to share it in between four people, it's going to be 25, 25, 25. This will take 25, 25, 25, 25. So if I pass in width of 25%, we're supposed to have everything right there. Supposed to have everything there. Okay, okay. So I don't want to go like that. I don't want to go like that. Let's say for each element should be float left. Mm, 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 mm. Still not working. So probably we are going to just say display of flex to the appearance, which is the content that holds them. This is the parent. So everything is now here, on this straight line, on this horizontal like alignment. So I just say justify content center. So it's just going to justify them to the middle. So I think we're having that already without wasting time. So for each element, I want to pass padding. All round padding should be 15 pixels. All round padding. Then I want to set box sizing to border, but because if you don't do this, let me get rid of this and save. Okay, let's just do it. Let's just do it. So we have the image, and we have this, and we have this, and we have this. So for everything to be at the middle, because I can't set, if I set text align to the center. Okay, yeah, we actually have that. I want the image to be at the center too, so we actually have that. So I think all these images, they are just too big for me. So I'll copy all this because right now I want to target the images. So inside the elements, the img, set the height to 150 pixels. Oh my god, that is way too big. Let's go 80. Yes, I think this is cool. I set margin bottom to probably 10 pixels for that. Or let's go 20. Okay. Yes, this is finally okay. So, I think this one we have to remove the border for this select. I think we did that. I think we did that. Just that, for select. you have to pass in importance. This means that this should happen no matter what. What's going on there? Let me pass in border 0. Why is it not working? Okay, okay. Let me go back. Let me go back to the form actually. So this is it about so form control. Okay, okay. So let's assume we are actually done with this. Let's check the code again. Oh, this should be capital letter O. That is under elements. We have to target the H3. So I'll just copy this, paste it here, and pass in H3 here, which is the title. I'll say text transform uppercase, which is going to be in capital letter, and say font weight to be probably 400. So it's going to be a bit. Let's just go bold, and font size should be 16 pixels. I don't want it to be too big. Yeah, right there. So I'll target the P also, P, and just say font size for this P should be 12. Yeah, right there. Okay, okay, so let's go back to the design. Yeah, I think, yeah. Or probably give this H3, give it font family of the Noto board. Okay, yes, that's it. Okay, yeah, so I think we just have to make this 14. Yes. Now let's move on. So let me go back to the design. So we are kind of through with this. Let me just use all this. Okay. Let me use all this. You don't actually need to do this. Like for this, for each element, I want to pass in this one so that we'll have the same content. But we don't actually need to do that. Of course, you can go ahead and do it if you want. So copy that, paste it here, copy that, paste it here, paste again. Okay. Now, so we are having the same thing. Okay. So think I think for this, I just want to say, the why else content we said justify content to center. Let us say space between instead. So it's still the same thing, but this is more cool than using um center. Okay. So let's go back to the design. Let's refresh again. So yeah, we are doing cool. Okay, guys. So that will be all on why us. Now let's go to the banner. This is banner right here. We want to have a container, a div tag with the name of container. Okay. So let's go back here. So we have we have this. We have this section with this background. So let's go to our project folder. So I'll go to the asset folder. So I should see banner BJ, not this. Um, I don't know what did I use for that. Okay, yeah, best of care BG. So we have the banner right here. So we have the image right there. So what I want to do is I want to pass in another class name here and say something like best care. Like if you go back to the design, we have best of care. So let's just say best care. So I'll go to my style sheet, down, down, create another comment, say best care. So I'll grab a class, best care. I'll make it height of, like, for now, let's go for 100 pixels. 400 pixels. Now let's pass in background. You have to do URL. Then inside this place, you want to specify the path to the image. So I have best of care feature. So if I go back to the page, to the web page, so I have this right here. So what we want to do, we want to get rid of this. We don't want it to like repeat the background image. So I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to make this to the cover. So it's going to end here, like full width of the section. So what we are going to do again is to give it some overlay, just like this. You can see we have black overlay the background. So I'm gonna say background repeat. Then I'm gonna say no repeat. Then what I want to set again is background color. So which will be that light, I mean black, but not really black. So I'm gonna pass in some transparency. I'll put it somewhere here, 0.76. So if I go back to the design now, to the page now, you can see that I'm only having my image here. But if I say something like background blend mode, so now you can see that we are using two background aspects, color and the image. So I want the two to like work together to communicate with each other. So I'm gonna say something like, I'm gonna say the blend of the background to be overlay. So that means the one at the top is going to be, it is going to come at the top of the image. That is, the color will come to the top of the image. This is not seem to be working. So let's move the color down and save that. Okay, very good. So we have it right here. So we said background repeat, no repeat. Now let's grab background size. We want to go cover. Yeah, cool. Yeah, okay. Okay, so let's go with these contents. So we have, let's say we have a p tag, then we have an h3 tag, then we have button. So inside the container, we want to say something like best of care, right? Yeah, best of care at, so h3 live care, a care clinic, and sorry, and maternity center. Okay, so I want to have a button. So I'm just gonna say a tag with class name of uh, transparent button. Okay, and says book appointments. Okay. Okay, so what I want to do again is that I want to wrap all this inside another div. I'll show you why. Okay, so this div, I'm just gonna call it something like class name best care inner. Okay, so for my style sheet, I can say best care inner, and I pass in width of, let's go 70 percentage, and let's go margin 0 also. So this is going to move to the middle of that. Okay, so we have it right here. So what we want to do now is we want to actually position all the elements inside the best care inner to come to the middle. So by passing display flex, then we want to justify everything to the center. Then want to say align item send again. Okay, yeah, we have it right here. So don't forget we have to pass in flex direction to the column. So yeah, cool. Then what we have to pass in height of 100%. Working. Okay, the parent. Or better still, let's just do it this way. So this is going to what's going on there? Delete this, leave that. Okay. So I'll pass the height to the inner instead of the section. So I want to increase this and make it white, increase this very big and make it the primary color. So I'll say best care inner, then the p tag, I'll say font weight, let's go 600 first. And let's say font family, let's go neutral regular. Let's say font size, let's go 24 pixels. So copy all this, paste, change the p tag to h3. So I don't actually need this. Yeah, I don't actually need this. So I'll make this notable. So for the font size, I want to go 3M. Oh my god. Okay, 3M. Yeah. So let's just pass in text align center. Okay. So let's say color. So color will be this primary color. Yes. So color for the p tag. Don't forget that. Say color. Say white. Okay. Exactly. Yeah, that is clear. So for the a tag, we want to actually increase the top and the bottom spacing. So I'll say padding top, actually padding top, make it like 10 pixels, then padding bottom, make it 10 pixels. So this is what I'm actually saying. The top, the spacing at the top and the one at the bottom. So if I save this, yes, it's gonna be great. And you can see if I put my mouse on it, it's actually like coming down. So I can choose to copy this, say over. So we are going to have it like fixed there. Or I can just like do it this way, comma and pass in that. So I want this and this to have this style. So I'll delete that. So we still have the same thing. Okay. So what I can do now is for this p tag, I will over doing this. So this is actually capital letter, and the button also is capital letter. Okay. So what I want to first do here to make it all caps is text transform uppercase. So everything will be all caps now. So I want to pass in some margin button to be around 10 pixels. Okay. So the same thing here. margin bottom 10 pixels. Okay, but instead of doing it like this, I can just pass in margin top and margin bottom to the H3, just to make it a bit cleaner. 10 pixels there. So we still have the same results. Okay. Okay. So what else is missing? Let's go back to the design. So I think this is the background. We need to make it deep. Yeah, like our own is too light. So just change this 7 to something 5. Oh my god. To something 9 rather. Oh, that is way too much. Let's make it 8. Okay. So we're just gonna leave it like this. So far so good. Okay, so back to the design, scroll down. Uh, okay, so the our services section, but there's something I want to quickly do. I want to change. I want to change all this. Wherever I have this, I want to make it like I'll just highlight this, copy it, then press Ctrl F. So Ctrl F will give you this. Ctrl plus F. That's to find. So I'll paste this color code. Then I'm going to change it to F8, F9, F8. So we only have two occurrence. So we place that. Let's go back to the code, to the results page. Okay, yeah, so let us go with this. So let us go with this background. Okay. So now our services. So under our services, we have the container with the light background. Then inside the we have the section with the light background. Then inside the container, we have the section title. Then we have three elements. So let's go and do that. So go back. So because if you look at it, it's still like kind of the same thing with this. So you can copy that code and format it, or let's just do our own. So I'll make a comment. I'll say our services. So section class. So be the lights. Okay. So container, it deal with class of container. Then inside the container, so I want to have H3 that will serve as the title. So this is our services. Our services. Then I want to have a div class of our services. So class of our services. Then inside this, we are going to have the service elements. You know, like service. So this service elements has image and the service title. So I'm gonna say img. Then the service title. We can go. What do we use for this? So we actually use p tag for this one. So we can also go p tag here. So now we have mental health care, laboratory services, then emergency. Mental health care. So this is one service. So copy that, paste it for the other one, which is laboratory services. Laboratory. So services, that's lab services. So the last one, emergency. Okay. So that is the last one. So for the first one, let's look for the image together. So that should be mental. Let's go mental healthcare right here, right here. So mental healthcare. So if I save that, then for the laboratory, I'll just type lab. That is lab services. Then for the last one, just type assets. Then emergency. Yeah, emergency. So if I go back, scroll down. Now we have everything right here. Okay. So I'll just name this section. I'll give it another class. That is the services section. The services section. Okay. So the services section. So because you actually need some padding right there. So it's a services section. It's a padding. So we want to pass in some spaces like at the top, right before the container, like the inner space. So I'll give that 40 pixels top and bottom, then left and right 0. So that should give some spacing here. Okay. So now for this service section, the title, which is the H3, we want to give it color of this, that is 00AC E8. So that is for the H3. Then under the services section, each service, yeah, each service. So like the H service, I don't know what I did. Okay, it's actually service, not services. So I was trying to use services as a service. Then the image, target the image, then pass in height of probably, let's go for the height, let's go 300 pixels. Let's see how big that is. Okay, yeah, I think this is good. Okay, but before we actually do that, the parents, which is our services, we want to make that a flex box. So display flex, then justify all the content in center. So this is what we're actually doing now. So we're going to justify all the content. I put center here, so which is not really good. So let's just space between. Okay, yeah, I think this is cool. Yeah, this is cool. Okay. So now we've set the high image to 300 pixels. Then let's just grab the p tag, which is the all each service title. So let's pass in font weight of bold. Let's pass in font family of noto bold. Let's see how that will go. Okay. Now let's say text transform to make it all caps, uppercase. Let's see that. Okay. Now finally let's say text align center. So that is all for this one. So for the title, this H3, we want to pass in margin bottom of some 20 pixels. So everything will like give it a bit space right here. So let's make it 30, 30, and let's say text align. Let's place it to the center. Okay. You can also do this to make it bold, just like that one. Let's pass in font family of Noto regular. So go back there. This is not doing it. Let's just say Noto bold. Okay. Yeah, and probably increase the font size. Font size. Let's go 20. Let's move on. So for this p tag, which is the title of each service, so let's just place in some margin top of like 15 pixels. Yes. Okay. So we want to show some reaction whenever I put my mouse on this. I want to actually make it grayscale, like to change the color. So I will know that okay, yeah, my mouse is here right now. So what I can do is to place in some over effects, services section, then the service, then img, then I'll say something like, okay, so I want to grab the over effect, so I'll say semicolon over. So I'll say filter, so I'll use the filter property in CSS. So filter, I want to convert to grayscale. So that's it. So filter grayscale. So if I put my mouse on it, you can see that, but we don't actually want that to be happening like that. Like that is way too fast. We want to show some animation right there. So I'll just pass in transition, passing like 0.4 seconds. So that will be fast and not fast. Okay. So probably the height is too much. Let's make it 250. Yes, this is cool. So if I put my mouse on it, we are seeing like, then we can also like increase it, which is to scale it. I think transform, then scale. So if I say scale to 1, so it's going to just be normal. That is the 1 means 100%. If I say scale to 1.5, it's going to like, like this is going to be. Okay, so let's just pass in scale to 1.1. Yes. Okay, so I'm just like trying to show some, some CSS effects here. Okay. So if I go back to the design, scroll down, so we have the contact section. So we have the map right here. Then we have the contact form. So although there's a way um to implement a map, but we're just gonna go using this like image, like in this tutorial. But if you want me to do how to implement Google Map in HTML, you can put the comment down below so that I can attend to it. Like, or I mean, probably make that my next video. So the map and the font. Okay. So we're going to use something different here. We are not going to use flex here. So let's just make a comment. Let's say contact us. Now let's have a section. So the section, we don't actually need to pass in background here. So we don't need a background. So this section will have two elements, the form and the whatever you call it. Um and the map, of course. So for the map, pass in img. So oh, let's just pass in this. So we are going to use the map as the background. No, we don't want to have the image there. Let's just give it a class name of banner. Let's give it a class name of I said of map rather. So map. So we'll have that. So let's have a form here for the contact us. So let's look at the structure of the form. Input tag that says full name, the one, then another one that says telephone, another one that says email, and the text inputs that says message, and a button. Okay. So let's add the title here. So contact us. So for the form, I want to have an input text, class name, form control. Don't forget we have something like this before, so we've done the styling, so we don't actually need to do that again. That is reusable. So place order, save name. I'll just copy paste and paste again. So this should be telephone, and this one will be address. So the last one is going to be text area, not input tag. So text area. So this is not self-closed. It actually has open and closing tag. So I'll say placeholder message. I'll say I'll say I'll say class name of form control. Okay. So if you scroll down, okay. But what we actually want to do is to put all this inside a division called like each input inside a division called um form group. We've actually done something like this before. So form group for all the inputs for all the inputs. Oh, what are you doing? Okay, including this. Okay, so now we have this. Okay, so let's start it. So let's pass in class of contact section here. Okay, okay. Better still, let's just pass in the image tag here. So let's look for our map. Oh, where is it? I didn't have the map here. What happened? I didn't have the map here. Okay, you guys don't actually need to worry. You need to be worried because I'm going to include that in the file. So this is it. Let me save that. Let me save that. Let me increase that to times 2. So 1.5 rather. So this is actually Figma. It is used for UI design. But if you want me to do a comprehensive course on this Figma, you can just like let me know in the comment below so we can shovel things together. So just go to YouTube, go to here inside assets. Okay, so I'll call that map. Okay, so we have the map. Okay, so just call that map.png. Okay, okay, okay. This is big. All right, so let's just go with the map first. So I want to say the contact section, the map under it. I want to say floats to left. So float to left. So you can see that we are not using the flex display of flex here. Then at the same time we have our form right here. So what I can also do is to say width of 50%. Okay, so you can see that the map starts here and ends somewhere here, but don't worry about this. This is actually from the image. So let's take care of that. Contact section, the map and the img under that. Say width of 100% and say height of inherit. Okay, so we have it right there. So we have it there. Okay. Although we're actually going to take care of the height a bit later, but for now, let's leave it right there. Okay. So now let's style all this. So I'm just going to say this class of contact form, class of contact form. So let's target the contact section, then contact form, and the form under that. So this is actually what we are saying right here. So we are saying that this contact form, this should be here. Sorry about that. So this should leave this place and come to this division instead. Okay, so contact form. So the form now, we want to set width of 100%. So just say display flex, justify content, or first of all, let's say flex direction column. Now save that. What is going on there? Okay, let's leave that for now. We are going to target that a bit later. So let's say contact section, contact form, the form and the form group. So the form group, that's actually a class, and the form is not a class, it's a tag name. So if you check this, we actually have some styling on form group before. So if I press Ctrl F and search for form group, so we have it here. So if I copy this style right here, and also with this form control. So I'm just going to grab all this. This can't work. This is not working. Okay, let me just grab all this and go down the page. So of course, don't forget we only need all the properties and the value. So this will go for the form group. Then get rid of that. Then since this is going for the form control, I can just get rid of this and just copy all this, paste that. Okay, so if I go back, so I am actually seeing this now. Okay, okay. So but for EA, we want to pass in border to the form control. We want to pass in border of 1 pixel, solid, and this primary color. This is not working. Oh, but that's zero important, so remove that. Okay, so this is it right here. So we have it now. So but for the form, I want to pass in padding of like 30 pixels. Okay, and I want to pass in border box because you can see that we have the form has elapsed the the body area. That is why we have it expanded right here. So I can just pass in box sizing, say border box. So make a border box. Now it's fine now. So we want to make the form to come to this page, to this place right here. So we want to target the contact form under the contact section. Now we'll say floats to right. So if this is floated to right, now we have it right here, right? Okay. So you can now set some width now. So I'm gonna say width of, let's go for the 5 percentage. Yeah. So we have it here. Okay, but what we don't want to do, but what we want to do is to pass in background. Oh, we don't want to do that here again. So since we already have, I'll just pass in class of BG light. This is going to have the our background image automatically. Then I'm going to pass in inside the style sheet. I'm going to pass in padding. So from top and bottom, we want to go 20 pixels. Then left and right, we just want to go kind of 10 pixels. Okay. All right. So we want to increase the height of this input. Then the height of this text area should be something like this. Yeah. Then we want to have the submit button. Okay. And this should go to the center also, bold and capitalized. Okay. So for the form control, I want to target the form control, copy that, paste that. I want to target the the text area. Yeah, the text area under the contact form. So what I want to do is just passing height of like 100 pixels. Okay, so we have it right there, 100 pixels. Then I want to pass in padding, from the, so let's just go 10 pixels. So it's going to be top, bottom, left, right. Okay, so this is looking cool. Okay, so let's make this to come to the center. So that is before that before. So let's copy this. Let's just go contact section, contact contact form, then H3. So let's say font size of 20 pixels. font family, auto bold. Okay, then color now. Pass in color of this color 00AC E8. Then text align to the center. Okay, save that. And this is actually the result. So the only thing we need to do right now is to just text transform uppercase. So yeah, I think we are missing the button right here, the submit button for the form. The submit button. Okay, let's go to the form and just have a form group, then the button that says submit. Okay, so let's quickly style that. So inside the contact section, the contact section, contact form, the form, and let's grab the button. Now let's say text transform should be uppercase, then background should be 006CE8. So I want to go width of its content, then I want to go padding of 15 pixels, 30 pixels. Save that. So let's see the results. So this is the result right here. Okay. So now font weight to bold, and color should be white. Okay. So no border is 0. Okay. Then just some videos right there, 5 pixels. So we're just going to go with this right there. Okay. So I just want to I just want to send that to the center. I'll use the center tag and save that. Now we should have it right there. Okay. So what I want to do is to just increase all this first of all. Increase the size of this to 45 and make this 300 pixels. So each form control should be 45, while the text area, what is going on there? So why the text area should be 300 pixels. Well, this is 300 pixels. Public passing importance, so it will reflect. Okay, and that is way too much. Let's make it 200. Oh my god, this is too much. Okay. So for this map image, so what it was, you know, the height of the image. So the height of the image, let's get rid of that. Let's say the height of the parent of the image parent to inherit. Now let's set this height to 100%. What we can do is to actually create some spacing before this title here, at the top, spacing at the top, just to like, the contact form, then the top should be 30, while the bottom should be 10. Okay, so like I don't just know what else to do here. Okay, it's okay. So let's just move on. So let's move to the footer. So this is pretty simple. So we have the footer, then we have a question, then our address and phone number. So then the other column we have links that says home, about, services, then contacts, then we have background image, then we have the copyright. So I have a question. Now in the footer, of course, I want to just make this. No, no, it's okay like that. So in the footer, so this is a div, and this is another div. So you can see that our footer is in like two forms: the first section and the second section of the footer. The second section is just the copyright. That says copyright. So use and copy. So copyright 2021, and what do we have? Demo web pages. And let us go logic camp. Okay, so that is one. So let's pass in class of, let's say, footer 2. Let's say footer 2, class of footer 1. So this footer 1 has two sections also. The first section is the, like, have a question. So I'm just going to use, so I'll use H6 for that. Have a question. Then we want to grab the address. So I'll just say, I'm just going to copy this, paste that. That is 203 Fake Street, Mountain View. So you can just put any address right there. So grab this again. I'm just going to paste that right here. So this telephone number can just be a tag. So the a tag is going to have href, say tel, so +2. So that whenever the user click on this number, it's going to automatically dial the number. So that is just it. So you can give that a try. Okay. So this is actually the number. So if I click this, you can see open pick an application. So this wants to actually dial this number, but I don't actually need that. Okay. So this is happening because this was set to float. All this they will start to float. So what I can do now is to say to grab the footer. Before I moved on, let me just grab the footer tag. It's a tag. So and say something like clear then left. So this is going to go back to normal. So we have it right here. So we have our footer right here. Okay, so let's just proceed with the framework. So the second section, this has a UL tag that says something. It say this has H6 also. Links, says links in the UL tag. Then we have LI. Inside the LI we have an anchor tag that take me back to home. So we have another list item. We have an anchor tag that take me to, let's check the design, about services contacts. So we want to have about here, services contact. Okay. Okay, so we practically have everything here. So for the footer, I want to pass in margin top of 80 pixels. So for the footer one, I want to set that to display flex. So I'm not going to use the floats again, as I just show you the floats and the flex. So you can like play around with those. So for here, I want to say justify content space between. Okay, so we have one here, we have one right here. So how else should that work? Space between, is that cool? Is that cool? I don't know. Like, let's just say space around. Okay, I think we're gonna go with this. I think I love this. So so what else again? Okay, so for the first section of the, let's say, class of footer one, then one. So class of footer one. So we want to target this H6 and the piece. Is there any need to actually do that? Yes, of course. I think I passed in margin top to the footer. It's not reflecting what happened. Is it because of the floats? Okay, so back to here. Okay, all right. So the question is alphabet tag here. So let us break this right after the view, passing the break tag, that is BR, and close that. Just going to close it. Yeah, very simple. Okay, so I have a question that is footer one, then one. So we want to target the H6 to be font width of bold, font family of auto regular, then font size of 18 pixels. So we want to do the same thing to footer one, two, which is the second section, then the H6. We just want to do this, so I'm not going to do this again. I'll just copy all this, put comma here, then include that. So save that. Okay, that means we haven't add class name to this. So I'm just gonna pass in the class name of footer 1286. Okay, so we have it right there. So the next thing to do is just to pass in some margin bottom of 15 pixels. Okay, so now let's target this URL and we are good to go. But before we move down to that, let's finish up the first section. Then the anchor tag will have color of this and text decoration will be set to none. Okay, that is cool. Now footer 12. Now the UL, say list style type should set to none. Then padding inline start should set to 0. So we have it now. So we have them now. So for the list items, under the list items, we now have anchor tag. So this anchor tag should set to text decoration none. So yeah, I think just to pass in color to the anchor tag. Just go 0, 0, 0. That is black. Yeah. Okay. So for this one, which is the footer second division, footer 2, so it's just going to have this. So very simple background of black, which is 0, 0, color of white, font weight of bold, text align center, font size, 216 pixels, and margin top, let's go 100 pixels. So I'm just trying to create some spacing between this and this. So if I save that, okay, yeah, so we have it right here. So what I can do now is to pass in probably padding inner space or height. So if we go height of, let's say, 100 pixels, so we'll have this. But if we go padding top and bottom, 30 pixels, left and right 0, we will have it like this. Now I think that this is better. Just say box sizing for the box, and that's all. So we're just going to put background to this. We're going to apply background to this. So to the footer. So I think I have the image inside the assets background. So we want to do that well since we are putting image. So go to assets and say footer bg. You want to set background repeat to no repeat. Background size to cover. Okay. Okay. Okay, so you can just go ahead and play with all these, probably spacing them like that, like that. So yeah, I think we are doing well. Okay, so what I want to undo now is actually the navigation. When I click this, I want to be scroll to this place to the top. Probably I'm here. Okay, we're actually here also. So when I click about, I want to scroll down here. I want the browser to scroll down here automatically. So when I click services, I want the browser to scroll down to services automatically. When I click contact us, scroll down to contact automatically. So what I can do to this is to, let's start from the about. So this about, let's pass in ID of about. Then in our navigation, So where we have about, you can just pass in the ID right after the asterisk, the pound sign. You can just say about. Yeah. So if I refresh that, okay, it's already refreshing. Click about. This should take us to, let me clear that. Click about. Nothing happened. What happened? What happened? What's happening there? Oh, I actually put this under home. Should be under the about. So that will reload. If I click this, take me to about. Can you see that? Take me to about. So for the services, this should take me to services, and for the contacts, this should take me to contacts. So we're going to use ID to do all this. So if I scroll down to where we have, so this is about to close that. This is why us. This is the banner. So this is services, the ID, services, and this is contact, the ID, contact. Yeah, so I think we have, this is about working, services, working, contacts, working. Yeah. So let us add in one more here that says why us. So right after about, probably right after services, I want to have an LI, a list item, an anchor tag that says why house. Say why house. So for the why house section, just passing ID of why house. So if I click the why house now, take me to why house. Okay. So let's try and look at something. You know, when I scroll like this, I want the nav to stick to the top. See, in this section like this, I want it to stick to the top. So let's see how we can implement that. But before we move down to that place, we want to actually direct all this to a specific link. So this one should go to, the home should go to header, the about should go to about. All these, they are the footer links. So we need to take care of them. So services, contacts. So I'll just pass an ID of header here. Header. So back to the browser. From here, if I click home, take me to the top of the page. So guys, that will be all on this section. So if you found this article useful, kindly subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so as to get notified whenever I release new videos like this.